Welcome to FacingMelsMusic.com podcast, featuring some of the most heartwarming stories from musicians all around the world on FacingMelsMusic.com.
Cool. So a very warm welcome to Facing Mel's Music. This is Mel Golding, and I have a very interesting guest who's coming to inform us on SEO optimizers. A very warm welcome, Brandon Leibowitz.
Thanks for having me on
How are you
today.
doing?
I'm doing
Good to
well.
see you. This is really interesting, actually, and it's something that I actually want to know more about for myself, and obviously the listeners as well want to know, musicians who are trying to get their careers off the ground. So you're into social media marketing. You mentioned there was some mention of Google ads as well. Do you want to tell us a bit more about search engine optimization and exactly what that is for the real novice, for people who really don't know anything about it?
So search engine optimization, SEO,
Yep.
means optimizing your website for the search engine. So whatever you search on the search engines, whether it's like Google or any search engine, Bing, Yahoo, there's ads at the top. But right below the ads is organic, the free listings. And SEO is about getting your website in those free listings. So there's 10 spots on that first page of Google. And with SEO, we're trying to get you up there for free. So you're not spending money on ads and just able to get that free traffic from Google.
You see, this is interesting. This is interesting to know about, because people think that they've got to spend quite a lot of money doing this. And it's just knowing the first place to look, really. There's Yoast. Is that right? There's one called Yoast. There's several organizations. There are all these companies. I mean, what's the competition is very, very high to get high ranking. What do you do to help get that up there? I mean, how do you do that?
So with SEO, it's not really a one size fits all. It all comes down to your competition. So the more competitive it is, the more SEO you're going to have to do. But if you're in an industry with no competition, it's not much you really have to do. It really comes down to who your competitors are. And with SEO, everything's transparent. I can see what you're doing. You can see what I'm doing. So it's about looking in the right places to see what keywords you're using, what backlinks you're using, and pretty much just looking at your strategy, seeing what's working, implementing it on my own website or my website, and what's not working, cutting that out. But just everything is transparent. But something that everyone could do that's pretty easy, not tech savvy, is adding more text, more content. The more content you have, the better on each page on your website. Google can't really read images or videos yet. They're getting better, but they rely heavily on text. The more text you have, the more they're going to be able to read that text and understand what that page is about, and then rank you for the correct keywords versus trying to guess. But if you give them content on each page, more content, the easier it is for them.
That's really interesting to know, actually. You mentioned the keywords there, the golden word keywords. So, I mean, when you look at, musicians, for example, you can have thousands of R&B artists or thousands of rock artists who are all searching to be up there. I mean, what are some of the keywords that artists should put in there other than rock music, the obvious ones? I mean, how would you manage keywords? What kind of keywords do you think are good to put in there?
Or does that research? So there's different tools that will show you how many people actually search for that keyword every single month, because you don't want to just guess. You got to do the research and then incorporate those onto your website. But first step is always look at the competitors' keywords and look at your own keyword, or look at the competitors' keywords and then throw them in different tools to see how many people actually search for that keyword. So you can go into Google, search for your keywords, and it's on that first page of Google, because that's your competition. And you get the blue clickable link. That's called the SEO title tag. That's where everyone puts their keywords. So you can just go on Google, search for your keywords, and see what everyone else is using in that blue clickable link, get ideas from it, then make a big list of keywords. Try to make as many keywords as possible, but first starting at your competitors, and then you throw them into these different tools that will show you how many people actually search for it every single month. There's free ones, there's paid ones. Yeah, it really all comes from Google Keyword Planner, which is a free tool that shows you how many people search for your keyword every single month.
That's interesting. I didn't know that either. That's a really interesting piece of information. Google Keyword Planner. Okay, that's very, very cool, very interesting. It takes quite a lot of research, doesn't it? Really, I mean, to try and get this right. I mean, it's half the battle getting your product done and knowing what you're actually selling, whether it's a service or a product. But then the other half of the battle is actually getting seen and on the map of existence. And I think this is where most people will struggle. This is what I think. So you've given some good tips there for the keywords. That's great. Any other tips on? I mean, you mentioned Google Ads, so other social media marketing. Is there anything else that we should be looking at other than just the keywords? What else could we be doing to kind of get that ranking higher? Anything else at all?
There
Was it
are
pretty?
definitely a lot of things that need to be done for SEO. It's
Hmm.
really going in and just making sure everything's optimized from
Right.
your website, making sure
Yeah.
all the little
Hmm.
technical areas
Right.
are done that
Yeah.
Google's looking at, but
Yeah.
Google doesn't really care what you put on there. They
Yeah.
see all these changes that you make to your website and they just don't trust you. They want to see backlinks. They want to see other
Right.
websites talk about you. The more websites that talk about you, the more trust Google's going to give to you, and
Yeah.
then they're going to look at the keywords to figure out what to rank you for. But without
Yeah.
backlinks, without getting other websites to talk about you, it's pretty much impossible. Like
Mm.
Google's whole algorithm started based off backlinks. It's still heavily based off backlinks. It's changed a lot how they look at them, but
Yeah.
still heavily based off getting
Wow.
backlinks to get that trust. Then Google
Yeah.
looks at the keywords on your website to figure out what to rank you for, but it doesn't really work
Mm.
that way around.
It sounds, and this is another problem here, Brandon, is the time. It's so time consuming, right? Very, very time consuming to keep on doing things like this. Is this where you step in and help people?
Yep. So the
Right.
backlinks, doing everything, it does take time. If
Yes.
you're a business owner, it might be tough to
Yeah.
try to do SEO on your own. You could do a little bit, some pieces here and there, but
Yeah.
to really do full SEO, it becomes
Mm.
like a full-time job. And
Yeah.
you could do it yourself if you have time, but most
Yeah.
of the time it's best to focus on your business, focus on
Yes.
your core capabilities versus
Right.
trying to learn SEO and trying to
Mm.
learn accounting, trying to learn all these different things and juggling it
Yeah.
all. It
Yeah.
becomes a lot to deal with. So
Yeah.
delegating has really helped me out with my own business, and
Mm.
others is what I've learned is find
Yeah.
people, subject matter experts
Yeah.
to let you do things. Like you might be able to if you have a leaky toilet, you could fix it yourself, but it might take you some
Yes.
time
Yeah.
and a long learning curve versus just
Yeah.
hiring a plumber to come in and fix it for you. But it's all be doable. It
Yeah.
just depends on how much time you want to spend
Yeah.
learning a new craft.
This is the trouble, and this is the trouble when you're starting out. If you've got a whole bunch of investment behind you, it's so much easier to actually allocate people to do this, do that, do the other. But for those who haven't got that yet and they're not in a privileged situation, they have to start small and like dabble in, and learn. It's a learning curve. But I mean, what you're saying is this is one of the biggest problems I think for small businesses and medium-sized businesses. Do you deal with mainly small, isn't it? Small and medium-sized businesses as well. Is that right? Are you doing anything quite large at the moment, or it's mainly small and medium, isn't it?
Well, for the
Yeah.
most part, help out some corporate clients and Fortune
Right.
500, but
Yeah.
for the
I
most
did
part,
read. I read somewhere you helped a friend with his SEO, and it ranked above government websites. That's amazing. So
yeah.
that's a testimonial right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ranking
Yeah.
above the government is tough because it all comes down to the competition. That's huge outranking the government. Google
Yeah.
trusts government websites a lot,
Good
but
Lord. Right.
doing the right
Okay.
things, sending the right signals to Google over time
Mm.
will get them to trust you as well.
Yes. Right. Okay. So, I mean, how often should you be looking at working on this, like on a daily or weekly basis, to really work at ranking? How much time do you spend investing in this in the one company, let's say, just so that I get an understanding of how it works? Because I imagine you don't just do it and you punch in the keywords and then you just leave it there. I imagine you have to keep revisiting it.
Yep, you're always building backlinks. Backlinks are the part that never ends with SEO. You can put keywords all over your website. Once you're done, you're done. Unless you add new pages or
Right.
add a new blog post or a new product or a new
Okay.
service, you want to optimize that new page. But Other than that, once your website's optimized, for the most part, it's not much you really need to do to the website. It's the backlinks, getting Google to trust you. That's the part that never ends. You're always constantly building backlinks, and a backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. So if you're reading an article on like Forbes and you're reading that article, and in there it says Brandon Leibowitz, if you click on that and it goes to my website, then I'd be getting a backlink from Forbes. So you're
Oh, I
trying to get as
see.
many other websites to talk about
Right.
you. The more sites
Ah,
that talk about you, the more trust Google's going to give to you, and then ultimately rank you higher. But with backlinks, you have to be very careful. If you build the wrong type of backlinks, instead of ranking higher, you actually
hmm
drop down in rankings. So
right.
Google's now looking at quality over quantity. It used to be just a numbers game, but now it's getting more quality sites. And
Mm.
what is a quality site to Google? Quality site means it's related to your industry and it's an authoritative site. So
That's
relevancy and authority are the two things that Google's really looking at for the backlinks.
that's interesting. Backlinks, I didn't, yeah, that's very interesting. So how, I mean, how do you actually get onto other people's sites then? I mean, is it a question of approaching them?
Yeah, there's
As
tons of
simple
different
as that?
strategies. But yeah,
Mm.
there's
Right.
reaching out to them, building relationships. Sometimes they just
Okay.
naturally write about you. If you're
Okay.
sponsored a trade event, maybe they'd post
Yeah.
about you, or
Right.
you create an account on Yelp or
Yeah.
MapQuest or Google Maps or Bing Maps or Yellow Pages or any of these sites.
Mm.
Usually they'll give you
Yeah.
a clickable link, but
Yeah.
relevancy is the biggest thing. You don't want to be everywhere. You need to be on
Mm.
sites that are related to you. If you're just everywhere, it's not going to work. You need to be
Yeah.
on niche related sites. That's the most important thing.
Sounds like you're very focused, and sounds like you know what you're talking about when you're looking at that. That's very specific, and that's a very important point. Actually, is filtering out where you don't need to be, because it's also about being taken seriously as well. It's your reputation, isn't it? So, and it's you've got to go to reputable businesses that actually you do have a link with. So yes, that does absolutely make perfect sense to do that. So it sounds like there's a lot of investment of time. So, are you currently available to musicians and labels? And are you currently available? Are you super busy at the minute? What's your situation?
No, we have some time to onboard new
Yeah,
clients, but each one we'd have to look at, make sure it's a good fit, make sure that they have
yeah,
potential to rank on Google, because
yeah.
it all goes down to the competition. We got to figure out who they are, what they've done in terms of SEO, where the competitors are, and where that disconnect is, and how to fill that void.
Right. Okay. And Where can people actually um, contact you? How can they contact you? Do you have your own? You must have your own page or site up.
Yep. So for anyone that's listening or watching, I
Yeah.
create a special gift for them if they go to my website, SEOoptimizers.com. That's SEOoptimizers.com /gift, the US spelling. But if
Right.
they go there, they could find a gift and find out all my information there as well.
That's amazing. Brandon, how long have you actually been doing this?
Since 2007, so about
Yeah,
15 years now. That's 2022.
gosh, right. So it's yeah, it's been quite lucrative for you, this path. It's been an interesting path, and you've done quite a lot of reading and some training. You've attended several yeah, things before to get really clued up on all of this. So you've dedicated your time to this, haven't you?
That's how I learned it. Just kind of fell into it after I graduated from college. Got my
Right.
degree in business marketing, but
Yeah.
wasn't planning on doing digital marketing. Had no idea what it was in 2007. And even the
Yeah.
company I worked at the first job, they didn't really know much about it. They said we're going to take you like classes,
Mm.
workshops, seminars, and kind of let you learn with us, which was interesting. But
Oh.
went with it, and then after a few months, just realized that I really was probably going to have a website in the future,
Yeah.
and a lot of different ways to get traffic.
Mm.
SEO way to get free traffic. So why spend money on paid ads when you can get
Mm.
up there for free? So that's really why I stuck with that. But
That's
watching
interesting.
videos, reading up on blogs, listening to podcasts, joining
Right.
Facebook groups or forums is the way
Yeah.
I recommend for anyone to learn. If they're trying to learn it, just make sure whatever you're watching, reading, listening to is from maybe a couple years old. Anything
Mm.
older than maybe like 5 years still might be relevant, but
Yeah.
everything changes. It's so dynamic. Digital marketing that works today might not work in the future. But just make sure
Yeah.
you're trying to look at stuff that's somewhat recent.
Yeah, it's constantly moving, isn't it? The time's constantly moving and expanding and updating. So, and this is also where the time, the element comes into it. It's spending that time. It's just, I know myself from doing Facing Mel's music and even my own music with my Nova Luna, the projects that I'm working on as well. It's just a minefield out there, and the investment of time. I'm thinking I could be writing more songs, or I should be writing more content, or I should be doing more blogs and more creativity stuff, and leave this to the people who actually know what they're doing rather than just me. And I think that's kind of your message too, isn't it, really? Yeah, at the end of the day, pass it over to Brandon, and Brandon will sort it out. I will even talk with you after this because I definitely need help on this in this area. It's yeah, quite a minefield out there. You did websites as well, is that right? What other areas of digital marketing have you been involved with? I mean, you're very specifically in the SEO area now, but did you do websites before? And did I read
Not,
that right?
not just mainly help people get traffic.
Oh, so you've always done that. Oh,
Yeah,
so
nothing
you've
with building
wow.
websites or code. I could build
Oh,
my own
okay.
basic website on WordPress, but would
Yeah,
never offer as a service because
yeah,
I don't really know how to customize PHP and all that stuff. And it's really
right.
technical. It's like web developers could do basic SEO, but
Yeah,
to really know the ins and outs, it's tricky. Or for like me, I could
yeah,
build a basic website, but
yeah.
to know the ins and outs of all that, it's tough. And you really have to
Oh,
think, hey, you kind of pick one or the other. You can
I
learn
know.
both, but there's just so much, and it's
Mm,
always changing with all these different programming languages.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
makes it really tough. And WordPress,
Mm,
Shopify, Squarespace, Wix make it so you don't even need to know coding anymore. So that's
yeah,
helped out a lot where it's too
yeah.
easy to build a website, but I don't
Mm,
do that for clients because that's not my area of expertise. But I help them get traffic,
yeah,
whether it's whatever it means it necessarily would be through digital,
yeah,
mainly through SEO, trying to get that free
yeah.
traffic. If they want to run
Mm.
paid ads, I could help out with that, but prefer to get you up there for free so you don't have to spend that money on ads.
Okay, that's really good to know. And all this, you say PHP and all these terminologies, these acronyms, they drive me crazy. I have to say, personally speaking, it's a whole other area, and it's really good that you are really focused on the SEO because that is really nice rather than doing, that being a what is it called? Yeah, you're a master of one rather than playing a little bit of everything, which is really nice to know. That's great. So. Okay, so you got into this. You've been into this since 2007. Is there anything else you want to add to? I mean, a message to musicians and performing artists, and because the people who are going to be listening really are going to be pretty much starting out. I would say, so you're looking at the novice. What's your message to them? To get in touch with you?
Well, SEO might not be the best for them because you got to
Okay.
think like if someone's searching for music, are they really going to go on Google searching for like an R&B artist?
Yeah.
Probably not. Some people might, but most people are
Mm,
not going to be doing that. So you got to be
mm,
where your audience is at. That's why I always have one. You got to focus. Who's your audience? Where would they be? Are they going to be on Google or are they going to be
mm,
on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube? And all these are
mm.
just search engines too with algorithms where it's optimizing your YouTube channel,
Yeah.
optimizing if you have an Amazon page, I can optimize your Amazon. It doesn't matter what it is. They're
Mm.
all algorithms and YouTube is
Yes.
probably a really good place that if you're trying to be a musician, you want to put your music out there.
Yeah. Hmm.
And just like you're optimizing a website, now you have a page on YouTube where you want to optimize that page by
Right.
putting a good title with keywords,
Yeah.
maybe transcribing the
Right.
audio. So if you sing a
Wow.
song, Google can't really, or YouTube is owned by Google, and they're trying to understand people speaking, transcribing videos, but they're not there yet. So if you could transcribe that video, that would help
Mm.
out so much. Like
Really?
huge, especially like podcasts too. If you
Mm.
transcribe it or timestamp it, huge impact on rankings. But the title is the most important. Putting a good title. But I know if you're writing a song, you don't want to fill it up with a bunch of keywords, but maybe you got to find
Mm.
that balance where it's like some keywords are in there, but you don't really want to muddy
Yeah.
up your title or your name. It's a little weird. It's different for artists versus someone that's
Right.
just creating a YouTube video. But if you're doing like a
Mm.
behind the scenes of like
Yeah.
making a music video, that's where you can put more keywords in the title and just try to
Yeah.
fill it up with as many keywords as possible without repeating yourself. And you only get about 60 characters after that gets cut off. So you want to try to put as many words as possible without cutting yourself off.
Yeah.
Put a good thumbnail, have a good description with the transcript on it, and then embedding that video. Taking that video and embedding it really moves you up. So you could click share on the bottom of YouTube. It'll like let you share it on Facebook, Instagram, all these different places. But if you embed it, that's really gonna significantly increase those rankings.
Really? Very interesting. It's very interesting because it's funny. I mean, I have no idea about all of this. You know, I just do the thing, do the job, get it up there as best as I can, and that's it. So, for example, I've got a Spotify channel. I was on SoundCloud. I'm still there, actually. I've got to deal with that. Then I've got a YouTube channel as well. So, I mean, it feels like you've got to deal. There's several SEO optimizers for each platform. I mean, is there any way of bringing all of this together in one place, or does each one, for example, you've just mentioned YouTube, Spotify, and all these different platforms and the search engines, I mean, optimization. Is this like 3-4 different sets of work, basically? Is that how it works?
No, you just got to be where your audience is at. If they're not on any of them, you don't need to be on any of them. But if that's where your audience is at, you need to be there. You have to take a step back and think, if you're looking for your music or your product or service or whatever it is you're promoting, where would you go?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, is where would you go? If you're going on Instagram, you got to be on Instagram. If you're going on Twitter, you got to be on Twitter. If you're going on Pinterest, you got to be on Pinterest. But you have to be where your audience is. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on that traffic. And automate everything too, like cross-promoting everything makes it way easier. So I just pick like one where I'm like, I'll post on Instagram, and then from Instagram, it'll automatically post to Facebook, to Twitter, to YouTube, to my website, to LinkedIn, to Reddit, to all these different places, all automate everything using like tools like Zapier. Like I'll schedule out all my tweets or all my posts for the entire month, so I don't have to worry about ever logging in, and then it crosses everywhere. And the more you automate, the better your life is going to be.
Yes, that's kind of what I'd like to know a bit more. It's funny you mentioned Zapier. I came across that. So, because, I mean, the things is that as an artist, you kind of need to be everywhere. You need to be on all the platforms. You've got to be on Instagram. You've got to be on TikTok. You've got to be on Twitter, LinkedIn, and I mean, all of them, you know, I've got pretty much all of them. I haven't got Pinterest, I don't think. But anyway, but it's really knowing how to bring this together. And you mentioned Zapier, isn't it? You know, they kind of it's the integration, isn't it? And they bring it together. You link things up. But it's just a minefield when it comes to just spending all this time. I've found, you know, it's crazy, actually, because an artist, the audience, they're everywhere. They're on most platforms, you know. So I don't think anyone can really leave anything out. I think Instagram is huge right now, isn't it, really? I think a lot of artists are on Instagram a lot, and they're doing these reels. Do you know about reels and stories? Do you know about all of that as well, and how all that works? I mean, because it's just confusing, you know, and unless you really spend hours and hours and hours each day, it's basically, we need you really to do this job. So what you're saying really is know where your audience are, know where they are, join that platform, and concentrate on that area. Concentrate on boosting the ranking there.
Yep, and then automate the rest. Let the rest auto post. Like Zapier saves me hours of work every single day.
Isn't that funny?
More than you imagine. Zapier, you got to automate everything. So you got to figure out who your audience is and where they are. And like, I have a page about skateboarding. I post on Instagram, and then an auto post to Twitter. My Twitter grew to 50,000 followers, which is kind of strange. I wouldn't think like skateboarding would be on Twitter. I mean, my Instagram is a bigger one, so it might trickle over. But still, like, I would not expect Twitter to be big on skateboarding. Or my Pinterest got to 10,000 followers, which is kind of weird too. Like automating everything, never manually posting, just by posting from Instagram. YouTube got to 17,000 subscribers, just automatically posting, never manually posting on YouTube. So automate as much as you can. But the main focus I use is for the skateboarding one is Instagram. So I'll post on that one and then just let it auto post everywhere else from Zapier. Post on my own website, so my website stays updated and it does it all for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been doing it wrong, basically. I knew there was a reason I wanted to speak with you.
I've
So,
automated it all, and then I also
yeah.
automate the scheduling. So I'll schedule out all the posts for that month, or
Yeah.
sometimes even that year, so I don't have to go in and post manually. And then every
Yeah.
once in a while, I'll just go in and answer DMs and respond to
Mm.
comments. But other than that, you just sit there
Mm.
for a couple hours, one day out of the week or one day out of the month, and just get it
Yeah.
all scheduled out, so you don't have to set it and forget it. That's the main thing.
You see, I like that. That sounds great, and it means you can concentrate on life in the meantime, because it just takes up all of your life. Um, but it's funny, isn't it, really? I mean, it's great that we're recording this because not many people will know really where to start other than the obvious. I mean, I didn't really know all of that. I literally came across Zapier, for example. I'm sure there are others similar to that one as well that I'm sure you could recommend. No? No,
No,
really?
here is the best.
Is
Nothing
it
will.
really? I swear, Brandon, isn't that funny? Literally a couple of days ago, I came across because I thought, how can this tie in? Because this is ridiculous, just the time spent is just nuts.
Yep,
But
it's amazing how much time
yeah,
you'll save, and everyone will say that Zapier does so much, and it's free
wow,
with the paid version if you want to do more, but they'll give it to you for free, which is nice, and they
that's
help you out.
incredible. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. So obviously you love doing this. Is this something? So you're doing this full time? I take it, yeah.
Yep, this is my full time job.
This
Working
is
out.
amazing,
Quit
Brandon.
my job a couple of years ago and just do it all focused
Oh.
on the digital aspect.
That's incredible. So you've got some. So are you more kind of in the corporate world, or, I mean, have you done anything on? I suppose it doesn't really make much difference because it's an SEO anyway. But are you more in the corporate world, or you've been more dealing with quite a lot of corporate organisations? Is that right?
Yeah, both
Yeah.
working for mom and pop shops to Fortune
Yeah.
500 companies and everything in between over the years. And yeah,
Yeah.
whoever has a viable website with a good product or service or whatever that you're putting out there, if it has
Wow.
potential, then we could work with it.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So give me that website again. So I'm going to put it in there. So if just to tell my listeners here, what's that
Yeah, so
website again of
if they
yours?
want to get a hold of me, it's SEOoptimizers.com, SEOoptimizers.com.
Great. Okay. And I can get hold of you and have a good chat. Are you happy to have consultations and look at their needs and take it from there? I take it. And I guess it's all, every company is different, if they're different levels and the needs are different. So I take it you tailor to their needs.
Yeah, it's not really one size fits all. So got to look at their site, see what's going on, where the disconnect is between their competitors and themselves, and how to fill
Yeah.
that void.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. So I like the word you use there, disconnect. And it does feel like that. It really does feel like that when you're trying to build something and you've got this and it's a great product, it's a great service. But why am I not bridging over to the other side and reaching the right people? And that is literally all the difference to making it and not making it, isn't it? It's
Pretty much. Get the right eyeballs on your content. Get people seeing your stuff.
Yeah, it's like having the best product in the world, but sitting on the shelf behind you. What good is that doing there? So
Mhm.
vitally important for all listeners. Interested in the SEO, search engine optimization. Vitally important to get that right. Brandon here is your man, your go-to man for this. So I will be personally speaking with you after this show, if that's okay.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on today.
Wonderful to speak with you. Thank you for your time. Amazing.